In 2025, India overtakes Japan as fourth largest economy. Inflation falls to 0.71% in Q2 quarter 2. Unemployment also declines. Four major achievements in 2025. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and everyone celebrating 2026. But what we achieved in 2025 in level of countries. Top 5 economies in the world. First, United States of America. Second, China. Third, Germany. And fourth, India. And fifth, Japan. How India become fifth to fourth in world? The government has started that India GDP has reached 4.18 trillion, approximately 374 lakh crore. The year 2025 proved to be historic for India's economy. This year, India overtook Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy. In the second quarter, too, GDP growth rose to 8.2%. In November, retail inflation fell to 0.71%. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate declined to 4.7% in November, the lowest level since April 2025, with high growth and very low inflation. This phase is being described as a Goldilocks period. In 2025 to be remembered as a year of reforms of India. Become the fourth largest economy, overtook Japan. How? So India GDP is now valued 4.18 trillion, around 350 lakh crore in Indian rupees. After overtaking Japan, India is expected to surpass Germany as well in the next 2.5 to 3 years, becoming the world's third largest economy by 2030 with an estimated size of 7.3 trillion, 655 lakh crore. Considering the growth trend, the RBI has revised its full year growth forecast upward from 6.8 to 7.3%. Inflation rate fell from 4.26 to 0.71%. The biggest relief for the general public in 2025 came on the inflation front at the beginning of the year. Retail inflation CPI stood at 4.26%, which declined to 0.71% by November. The primary reason for this drop was a fall in food prices. Taking this relief into account, the RBI also cut interest rates by 0.25%, bringing them down to 5.25%. This is expected to make home loans and car loan cheaper. Third, sharp decline in employment, more jobs for women. November proved to be very positive month on the unemployment front according to data from the National Statistics Office PLFS. The country overall unemployment rate fell from 5.2% in November to 4.7% in October to November. Rural areas, the unemployment rate declined to 3.9%. Urban women, the rate fell from 9.7% to 9.3%. A small rate, but it's good. Rural women, a significant drop was recorded with unemployment decline from 4.0% to 3.4%. Export surge despite Trump tariffs. Despite global challenges, India's exports have increased in November 2025. merchandise 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 exports stood 38.13 billion up to 36.43 billion dollar at the beginning of the year. The highest growth was seen in Kashiv 64%, marine products 62%, and engineering goods 17%. Services exports also rose by 8.65%, crossing 270 billion. India's foreign exchange reserves stand at 686 billion 61 lakh crore, sufficient to cover 11 months for import. 11 months you can import. Global agencies forecast continued GDP growth. According to the center, despite uncertainties related to global trade, India GDP reached a six-quarter high in the second quarter of 25-26. Domestic demand, especially private consumption, played a crucial role in his growth. The government started that international agencies have also expressed positive forecasts regarding India's growth rate. The World Bank has projected 6.5% growth for 2026. According to Moody India, India will remain the fastest growing economy among G20 countries with a growth of 6.4% in 2026, 6.5% in 2027. The International Monetary Fund IMF, International Monetary Fund IMF, the IMF who gave Pakistan money, loans because of America, and Pakistan used that funds for, everybody know. The International Monetary Fund has projected growth at 6.6% for 2025 and 6.2% for 2026. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD short name, has estimated growth at 6.7% in 2025 and 6.2% in 2026. According to S&P, and the growth rate could be 6.5% in the current fiscal year and 6.7% in the next fiscal year. The Asia Development Bank has raised its forecast and 2025 to 7.2%, while Fitch has projected a GDP growth rate of 7.4% for 2026 based on strong consumer demand. India's $1 trillion GDP journey. So, in GDP, $1 trillion in 2007 took 60 years to become a $1 trillion economy. $2 trillion in 2014, it took 7 years, and India become second largest economy, 2 trillion economy. And 3 trillion, how become 3 trillion? So 2021 took 7 years to become 3 trillion economy. मतलब India mainly 1 to 2, 2 to 3. India want 7 years gap, but 3 trillion to 4 trillion India took 2021 to 2025. Means India took 4 years to become 4 trillion economy. Means 1 trillion India achieved in just of 4 years. Center says aim to become an upper middle income country by 2047. The government stated that India is moving towards its goal of becoming an upper middle income country by 2047. For this economic growth, structural reforms and social progress are being made the foundation. The statement also mentioned that inflation remains below the specified lower tolerance limit. Unemployment shows a declining trend and export performance continues to improve. Along with this, financial conditions remain favorable. Credit flow to the commercial sector is strong while conditions are stable. Demand is sustained by strong urban consumption. What is GDP? So it's a simple, but we will explain. GDP is used to track the health of an economy. It shows the value of all goods, services produced within a country in a given period. It also includes production by foreign companies operating within the country borders. And India's biggest problem in his population. Population is the biggest problem is India. GDP is of two types. GDP is of two types: real GDP and nominal GDP. In real GDP, the value of goods and services is calculated based on the value of the base year or at stable prices. Currently, the base year for the calculating GDP is 2011 12, whereas nominal GDP is calculated at current prices. How is GDP calculated? So our formula is used to GDP. GDP equals C plus G plus I plus NX, where C stands for private consumption and G for government spending, I for investment, and NGNX for net exports. C plus G plus I plus NX. This is how GDP calculated. India's economic grow up by 105% in 10 years. It's a big GDP in 2015. You can see India GDP 2.1%, but 2025 India GDP 4.3 trillion. So it's grow 105%. And United States GDP 18.1% in 2015, and now 2025 30.3%, 66% growth. China GDP 11.1% in 2015, and now they had a 19.5% in 76% growth. Mainly India top in growth to become a largest economy. So guys, thank you so much for watching my video. We'll talk next video. Thank you so much. We'll meet next video. Have a good day. Live young, live free.